protecting Americans that are snatching people out of their families, off their jobs, right out of the midnight sleep. They go and snatch them right out. Children. This is sad. This is sad. This is not the America that I was born and raised in, I'm telling you. This is a disgrace. There's nothing here. There is no honor in whatever the hell is going on right here, right now. There's no honor in this whatsoever.
My daughter's father has been in America for almost 10 years. He has done everything the right way, trying to come here from Venezuela with his mom. He graduated high school here. He goes to college. He's always worked. He pays taxes. He's never committed a crime. And yet, they are being denied citizenship here in America, and they are at risk of being deported.
And this is what people meant when they said that when you're voting that way, all immigrants were at risk. It doesn't matter if you were a model citizen, doesn't matter if you were a CEO of a company, if you were a police officer, if you contributed to society, it didn't matter. And the worst part about this is her daughter is 3 years old, assuming she's born in America, but now is at risk for deportation just because of the times of America. But to tag the president, he don't care.
I just don't think we have the same Donald Trump that we had circa 2016 to 2020. This is not the same man. Somewhere along the way, he lost his way. To deny help to tornado victims. Then I heard he denied further assistance from FEMA to North Carolina. This is not the man we voted for. If you are upper middle class or below, I don't see how any of us are faring well under this president. And how long are we just going to close our eyes to it and pretend it's not happening because it's him? And at least it wasn't the other guy. I will no longer stand by and pretend that I have hope in this president, because I don't. This past weekend, what he did last night was 1,000,000% unacceptable. And if any other president did that, everybody would be losing their marbles. The cuts he made to programs that help lower income people, these secret dinners with people wearing masks. It's just craziness at this point, guys. And I just can no longer stand here and say I support it, because I don't. No, I'm not a Democrat. I don't trust the government at all. But I just hope our friendships are strong enough that you guys don't base it just on something political. But understand, I fully expect that I will lose friendships. And I'm sorry to see you go, but I hope you can understand my side as well.
Oh, now we gotta go?
In recent weeks, a growing number of Americans have been expressing frustration and confusion about the country's current economic and social direction. Many who supported the current administration say they feel the cost of living remains too high, from groceries and gas to healthcare and insurance. Some point to tariffs and corporate price gouging as major factors driving inflation, while others blame government inaction. One man, speaking directly to the president, voiced his frustration about promises to fix the economy and lower prices, saying everyday people are being squeezed out of the middle class. Others online echoed similar concerns, noting that inflation and high insurance premiums are making it difficult to make ends meet.
So are we all just going to sit back and act like we don't see what's going on? If you speak out against a certain country, or if you go against a certain country, you're out of there. If you go to college and somebody that's a teacher or anything like that at that college says something against that certain country, they're cutting funding. Matter of fact, in the beginning of the year, they were talking about deporting U.S. citizens for protesting in favor of Palestine at a college. Yet we voted this same person in because we wanted free speech. I remember last year when the left was talking about, oh, Trump's going to come out with Project 2025. I was like, yeah, Project 2025, let's go. Instead, what we got was much worse than what the left thought. We got Trump and Netanyahu in office, and Trump's doing tricks on it.
You voted for that orange man, and you are now saying, this is not what I voted for, this is not what I voted for. This is quite literally exactly what you voted for. And if you truly did not think that this was going to happen by electing that man into office, then you are willingly uneducated and ignorant. And I suggest next time you think about voting in an election, you educate yourself other than watching Fox News. Yeah.
Meanwhile, some voters who once strongly supported conservative or pro-life policies say they're now rethinking certain positions after facing real-life consequences. For instance, one woman in Texas described a dangerous pregnancy situation where strict abortion laws made it difficult for her to get potentially life-saving care. Her story reflects how complex and personal these political decisions can become when they intersect with health and family. At the same time, farmers are also feeling the pressure. Trade tensions and tariff policies have made it harder for them to sell crops abroad, cutting into their profits and threatening their livelihoods. Many say they want fair trade and open markets, not temporary aid packages.
Is the targeting of migrant workers.
A mission to deport millions of undocumented migrants.
Cartel members.
Is it your plan to deport everyone who is here illegally over the next 4 years?
Well, I think you have to do it.
Not gang members, not
Largest deportation in the history of our country, history of the United States, American history.
not drug dealers.
I want to be breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together and you have to send them all back.
Construction workers showing up in construction sites and raiding them.
We will reclaim our sovereignty.
Gardeners. Yeah. Like, really?
I've seen a lot of the videos, and it seems like a lot of people are just yelling, and they're mad. They don't understand why this is happening. I don't understand it either. It's not what I voted for. I voted for the criminals to be removed. I've been to the trade schools here in Tampa. I don't see how we fill these positions. It's going to cause construction to collapse here. It worries me. I've got a solution. Get them legal status. Somehow, under a work visa, background check them. Do whatever you need to do to make sure they're not criminals, but let's get them legalized in a rushed form or fashion. That's what needs to happen. President Donald Trump, the solution, not the problem. We all know what the problem is. The solution is to not deport them.
Well, honey, you may need to update your voter registration because that is exactly what liberals have been fighting for like the last 40 years. Obama literally tried to do this with DACA, and Trump has done nothing but try to reverse it. In fact, this is his entire platform that he ran on.
Getting them out will be a bloody story. It had never been allowed to come into our country. If you come back, you will be executed. You will be killed immediately.
There was a bill to help with the border crisis, and it was a bipartisan effort. That means both sides came to the table. In fact, it was written by a Republican, and Trump said, vote it down, because we need a platform to run on, because this is a wedge issue, and fixing it removes a useful political scapegoat. But the real reason that people who have lived in the U.S. for 20 plus years, have raised all of their children here, and still aren't legal citizens of here is because they pay into a system that they can't cash out on. It's like free labor without taxation, because they pay into a system. Taxes are collected, and yes, they are. You can go verify this. They don't get to claim those taxes back, and they don't get to make use of the welfare systems that we have because they're not legal. They do not have social security numbers. Not only that, employers get cheap labor, which I can assume is your problem and how you're personally affected and why you suddenly care about this. Not only that, corporations prefer undocumented, therefore vulnerable employees. They're easy to exploit. So in short, the system all around profits off their vulnerability. So when you say this isn't what you voted for, that is incorrect. This is exactly what you voted for. You just didn't know that's what you were voting for.
Beyond economics, there's also growing division among citizens over how to interpret government actions, from immigration enforcement to National Guard deployments in cities. Some see these moves as necessary for safety, while others view them as excessive or politically motivated. Yet, amid all the tension, there are still moments of empathy and understanding. One construction worker, a self-identified Republican, said he refuses to turn his back on his immigrant coworkers, who are simply trying to make a living. His words reminded many that beyond politics, humanity and compassion still matter.
So, I'm finding it really hard to post today. Everything that has transpired within the last week, literally can't stop crying. None of this should have happened. None of it. Nothing. But the fact that I am on social media and so overwhelmed because my friends and family are attacking each other over it is ridiculous. I never thought I would be one to come on social media and bawl my eyes out on camera. I never thought that would be me. But this is absurd. Like, this is awful. I'm tired of seeing everybody just hate on each other and call each other names and just be so nasty and negative. This is the America that we live in. Yeah, this is where I raise my children. This is where my rights are. In this country. It just boggles the mind. Like, I woke up this morning and just felt so overwhelmed. So overstimulated. Oh, gosh. Like, I just saw not enough people talking about the right things. Not enough people. Everyone is just attacking left and right and conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat. Like, now it matters what you are, what you stand for. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter what we stand for. It shouldn't matter what party we belong to. What matters is that we are looking out for each other. In the current America, state of America that we live in. The period point blank. Oh, God. Like I said, I never thought I would get on social media and just bawl my eyes out. Like, I never thought I'd be that girl, you know, but social media has become my outlet. You know, let me rephrase that. TikTok has become my outlet because I actually feel like I belong here, you know, and I know that's probably short-lived. That'll change, you know. That's just how social media is. It changes within an instant. But this is where I feel like I can speak and not be attacked. Because unfortunately on Facebook, and number one is Facebook. That is the root of all problems, I feel. On Facebook, you're just constantly attacked and belittled and harassed. And none of this is okay. None of this is. But to each their own. Everyone has their own views, their own opinions, you know, but we all have the same rights. Well, we're supposed to have the same rights. So this is my First Amendment. This is me exercising my First Amendment. That is my right. And y'all can too. To each their own, you know, you live in America as well. Exercise those rights. But you do not get to say when others get to exercise theirs. If you want to sit here and speak your mind and, you know, speak your truth and your opinion and your views, have at it. That is your right as an American. But you do not get to tell other people when to speak their mind and their right and their view, their opinion. You don't get to do that. That's there's not specifics to the First Amendment. Like, look it up. Anyways, I'm getting off track. I'm talking about not spreading negativity, but I'm kind of being a little negative, so my apologies. Because I try not to be a negative person. I try to be very optimistic and very positive and very uplifting, because that's just how I was raised to be. And I'm not seeing that from anyone else. And it's as someone who is severely empathetic, like I'm a huge empath, it's really getting to me. it is.
The 80-year-old U.S. citizen says he wasn't trying to intervene, simply get answers. That's when armed masked men turned their attention towards him, leaving him badly injured.
You can see my arm. They threw me on the floor. It's all black.
Rafi's shoe head shows us the injuries he sustained, including a dislocated elbow, after his business was raided by federal immigration officials last week. Surveillance video shows as the 80-year-old car wash owner gets shoved to the ground by a masked agent as he's running down a narrow hallway. Rafi says he didn't know what was going on, and when he came to the defense of one of his employees outside Valley Car Wash in Van Nuys, an unidentified officer pushes him back before throwing him to the ground as backup arrives.
They grabbed one of my guys, and I told him, hold on, most of these people, they have a paper, we have documentation here, and the only thing they said is, you don't F with the eyes, we are here. And they threw me on the floor, and 3 of them, they jumped on me and they were sitting on me.
Rafi says 5 of his employees were detained by ICE that Tuesday morning. He requested medical attention after being roughed up with a heart condition, but instead he was placed in handcuffs and taken to the Metropolitan Detention Center in downtown LA.
I was asking them, let me talk to somebody, I need to go home, I need my medicine, I'm hungry. No, there is nothing we can do. You have to wait. You have to wait.
The U.S. citizen was released hours later. That's when his family finally took him to the hospital.
Again, my dad, he's 80 years old, and he has a heart condition, and he begged and pleaded, and told him as soon as that second attack, that second push down, he said, I have a heart condition, I'm an old man, I want the ambulance, and they completely denied him and ignored him.
Rafi's ribs were left busted, both his arms have contusions, and he's struggling to breathe. He and his family are now seeking legal action against the government.
What they are doing is not nice and it's not.
I did not want to reshare this video. The reason I'm saying that is because we're also focused on the president's detriment. We're not seeing the real thing that is coming or that is going to be happening that will be so shocking and devastating to our country. Because what is coming for America, we are ill prepared for it. We're not ready for it. I'm no longer blaming all of this on Trump. No longer will I do that. Because the only people that should be blamed are the people that put him in office. You know who you are. You're the ones that are going around now saying, oh, that's not what I voted for. That is what you voted for. You're going to tell me you didn't know you were voting for a convicted felon? He is a felon. He is a convicted felon. And somewhere you found it in your heart, okay, to vote for that? Oh, I see. But now that it's affecting you and your family, oh, now that all your friends and families are being deported, now you're beginning to see that you are no different from me. He sees you just like he sees me, and he does not care about you. So what you really should be doing is apologizing to all your family and friends that have been deported and that are being picked up day by day. You should be apologizing to them, because that's what you voted for. You gave him permission to do it because you thought somehow this wasn't going to touch you. I can't even fathom or say what could have been going through your mind that would allow you to go into a voting booth and hit yes for a convicted felon. The things that he was convicted of, and you know it's true. As long as his policies are affecting the people that you hate, then you're fine with it. But now you see his policies are affecting you too. And now you're not so fine with it. Judgment is on the people for voting for evil. You did this. He didn't do it. You did this. You unleashed a beast, and you gave him permission to do every single thing that he is doing right now. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be apologizing to the American people for what is happening. You who voted for him.
Why is Trump doing this? This isn't what I voted for. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He was very clear. He was very explicit. I don't like the fuck around and find out mentality, but every time somebody hops online and be like, I can't believe he's doing this. Andrew Schultz getting on his podcast and be like, this is what I voted for. Fucking Alex Jones crying in his car. This was the plan. This is exactly what he promised. He basically ran around for months being like, this is my ruin everything plan. Yes, it's ruin everything. It's a beautiful plan. Casey Anthony in charge of childcare. We're ruining everything.
What is he doing, man? This is not what I voted for. Isn't what you voted for? Brother, this is exactly what you voted for. Well, he never said he was going to do any of this. He said he was going to do all of this. I mean, it was an open book test, and now you're telling me that you showed up and you didn't even know there was a book? Well, I was focused on his fiscal policy. His fiscal policy? He has bankrupt 6 different businesses. You wouldn't lend $100 to a guy that's gone bankrupt once, and now you're saying that he was the best choice to lead the most complex economy in the world? Those businesses were just bad investments. They were casinos. They're basically the most bankrupt-proof business model on the planet. People just give you money and you don't need to give it back. I mean, I was focused on his stance on immigration. His whole stance on immigration was, I don't like Mexicans, so let's create pop-up internment camps that are alligator infested and sell merch for it. Well, they did immigrate here illegally, and that makes them criminals. The guy who told you that is literally a felon married to an immigrant that got here under false pretenses. At least there'll be no tax on tips if the bill passes. Yeah, you're right. Instead of having to pay taxes on your tips, we're only gonna have millions of Americans losing their health care, massive slashes to food programs and clean energy progress, while adding $4 trillion to the national debt ceiling. And the only people that are getting actual tax breaks are the guys that already have everything, because they won't be satisfied until you have nothing. But thank God you won't have to pay taxes on the tips that you already underreport. Okay, well now you're just fear-mongering. It's not fear-mongering if all I'm doing is telling you the facts and you just so happen to not like it.
Overall, these stories reflect a larger pattern, a nation grappling with rising costs, shifting values, and questions about who is truly benefiting from today's policies. Whether people identify as left, right, or independent, many are realizing that understanding the impact of these decisions firsthand is more important than ever.